So welcome guys to SCPH replay casting session number 4 of the year. I said before that we're gonna try to do this around every 2 weeks, and it seems like we're at a pretty normal level of that. Today is March 6th, and we had 2 sessions in January, 1 in February, and 1 here on March, thanks to the later months. I've been a little busy working on to new things and new projects, but you know what isn't something I will drop is the SCPH community. I've been having a lot of fun just working at this low level, just enjoying seeing these players come up the ladder. And let's introduce our players right here, right now. Here, on the bottom right of Ephemeron LE, it is going to be the Red Zerg, that is Witness. And his opponents. On the top left, SCPH represents, it is going to be the Blue Terran, that is DLSMIZEL. So again guys, Mizel's still up and coming. Honestly, I've seen a little more of his personal life than I would like to share because of course we want to be anonymous, but he is a very busy person, that's for sure. He is looking to get better at the game and has really shown his macro-oriented style working out for him. But we have criticized a few times already that he's taking a little too long to close out these games. And a little better decision making will really go a long way. But in terms of build order, in terms of getting that base up and running, well, this guy is pretty on point in what he does to begin with. In the meantime, here on the bottom right, Witness gonna be one of those ladder players into the Zerg, and I believe, I'm not too sure what range is it. I think this is Plat or Diamond or something like that. So yeah, it is going to be a middle of the pack. People should know at least a little bit of how to play the game in the first place. But yeah, Witness going to go for that second hatchery as well as the spawning pool. Seems like he went for the hatch first, getting a little more macro along the way. And the hatch first is, of course, a little more popular than pool first due to the fact that it allows you that creep spread, it allows you more eggs. It's a lot easier to handle as well, making sure that you already impose on your opponent that he has to play the macro game at the same time. Anyway though, seems like Mizel pretty on point. 2 minutes in, looking to build that factory already. Reactor tech, of course, to build up those double pump Hellions later on, as we do see the Scouting Reaper now going into the main Zerg cluster. The Reaper going to the back line, sees everything coming. Metabolic boost is going to get spotted to be researched. And at the same time, more Overlords, more Queens coming online here for Witness. So it seems like Witness gonna be looking to play a little defensively, build a few Queens as well to get Larva Injects and those Creep Tumors on. And try to build that third base, but Mizel playing the smart, getting in the way, tit-for-tat situation, just stopping the drone from getting anything done, and even gonna go for the supply depot. Pretty cheeky stuff here and now from Mizel. Gonna go for 1v1 with this, not microwaving that drone, and that will go down. But at the same time, it seems like the command center is up, sure, but the SCV building it will go down. Waldo set on up already. Perfect timing here from Mizel. Looking to double pump those Hellions, but he might need to prepare the supply depot with a single SCV just to make sure that he is safe and sound. Anyway, the Hellions will be coming on out sometime soon. There you go. Looking to burn those Zerglings, forcing the retreats. And interesting enough, Witness gonna be expanding northward instead. This is very, very segregated from his creep spread, but it does allot him a pretty aggressive approach here on Ephemeron. Can go around onto the side, can circumnavigate those Hellions in the middle. Right now, we are going to get Carapace upgrade here for Witness. Looking to get a little more scouting information, potentially Bane drops later on if he gets a little more tech. But yes, Hatchery is truly the focus, as well as Lynx. Surround might be the name of the game, but those Queens need to be protected, especially against this upcoming attack here from Mizel. Still though, Mizel looking to set up his defenses. Gonna be trying to form the concave by setting up a few supply depots in a line. The great wall of supply depots, as we say. Here we go for more refineries as well. So into the fusion core we go. Pretty standard stuff against the Zerg. Going for the Battlecruiser is pretty much a heat check against the Zerg. If there's no way for them to try and shut this down, well, that is gonna be game, set, and match. That is just pressure naturally applied by building up the higher tiers of tech. It is a pretty investment of gas though, so you can see Mizel now working to get that second base saturated up on both resources. At the same time, Zerglings waiting at the eastern quadrant. And Witness can be setting things up yet again with a few more Queens. Evo Chambers now forming the wall, looking to double pump those upgrades later on. Extractors as well. So it seems like Witness gonna be looking to build into a more gas-oriented style. He doesn't have any other tech options as of yet, but he is already ready with 4 extractors coming online. This one not being used, sure, but it seems like Witness is future-proofing himself for this game. Anyway, MiZeL has built that Viking, and it is going to be looking to scout out these Overlords. The Carapace really just like, hey, you can't keep up with me. Never mind, the Viking a little too fast with the turbojets. And Overlord's going to be going down. No potential for scouting here for Witness as of the moment. No Overseer to go for the Changeling. But yeah, 3 bases right here, right now for our Zerg. Looking good so far in terms of that macro, but he is running out of money. We might need to find a few more instances of income here, as we're going into Lair Tech here for Mr. Witness. Tier 2 going to be enabling Hydralisks as well as Mutalisks later on as soon as those tech structures are built. And it's pretty interesting here for Witness. He's staying on a Zergling base composition. He's not building anything else. He's just keeping a little bit of gas in reserve, making sure that he's ready to go for that initial burst. So it seems like this is going to be a 3-base Mutalisk approach here from our Red Zerg. He's already going for that +1 to provide more ground pressure with those fast critters. At the same time though, MiZeL will be floating this Terran Command Center onto the 3rd. And now here comes Battlecruiser. Looking for the pressure. Spore Crawler though set on up. MiZeL gonna be microing it onto the north side. It's pretty good here for MiZeL. He's not really overextending. He's making sure his Battlecruiser is forcing those queens to come there. And oh, does MiZeL know that the base is on to the eastern side? Seems like he didn't, but now he does. MiZeL gonna be raining it down. Not these drones. Queen though still in position. No tactical warp as of yet. Instead, going for the retreat. No greedy play here from the blue Terran, but as I say that, seems like we're gonna go for the fight yet again. No approach here from Witness. It's gonna be a solo queen versus that solo BC. Now MiZeL has to get out of dodge and has to dodge those spines as the creep is spread enough for these queens to give chase. Can the Battlecruiser stay alive? Seems like it's the case. We'll go for the run on by as well against the Overlord, but the transfusion gonna keep it alive. And that escape plan there from MiZeL, giving him a little more information than he expected. But yes, a lot of supply depots in front here for MiZeL. A little dangerous sometimes if your wall gets busted, you might get supply blocked in behind. But it is a way to go about things, making sure that everything is safe and sound. Usually you build half of it with supply depots and the other half with the command center to go for that extra expansion. Now doing it the second time, I'm a little afraid here for MiZeL. He's floating on a lot of minerals and gas right now, so he can queue up these supply depots. But here we go with the fight yet again. MiZeL now losing a bunch of SCVs there into the middle of the line. Zerg running by, gonna be pretty effective there. And it seems like this is where MiZeL is faltering a little bit. Usually he's on point with that macro and he's not floating too many resources. Right now, he's not building much in the bank. He's a little too busy microing that Battlecruiser. But here we go, nice one, bud. It's pretty effective. Seems like, yes, that second base attack was pretty potent. It might be also the slash damage from the siege tank hurting his own SCVs. Also the fact the supply depot wall is down. So a few instances here where MiZeL is really playing with fire. If all these walls break, well, that is gonna be game, set, and match if you can't build anything in behind. But he is going for the mech-oriented style. It's pretty much the meta for the Terran race. We are gonna see Blue Flame coming online here for the Hellions as well. At the same time though, Spire coming here for Witness as we expected. Double Spires actually to try and double pump out those upgrades, make those Mutalisks as good as possible. He can go straight into the Hive as soon as the Infestation Pit is built as well to get into the Brood Lore meta. The Mutalisks gonna be forming the bulk of the ground, so it really is reminiscent of StarCraft 1 here for Witness. Legacy units between the Zerglings, the Hydralisks, and the Mutas. Spires pumping up at the same time, double sensor towers to make sure that MiZeL knows exactly what's going on. And anyway, yes, Spore Crawlers gonna be littering the expansion bases. Finally, Witness gonna be able to get his western expansion here. 4 bases here and now for our Zerg. Overseer gonna be spotting things out. And we see more and more of these mech base units here from MiZeL. It seems like he's still trying to figure out how to find the balance of production and economy, because he had so much money a while ago. Now he has a lot of doors queued up, and honestly these resources aren't being used to their full potential. You can queue them up a little later on. You don't need to queue up 3 of them at the same time, because you might need the money for something into the future. But still, it seems like supply depot's being littered even more so. And this can actually hurt the Terran if he doesn't get the supply depot micro right. He might end up with things on the other side of the wall. And if he does go for a few funnel plays, well, it might be trench warfare gone wrong. It really depends though. Siege tanks can get maximum damage if everything is clustered up. So MiZEL can form those trenches to make sure that it is World War I all over again. Still though, seems like MiZEL gonna be looking to expand onto the eastern side. 4 bases right now here for the Terran. Macro really going strong. And Witness gonna be opening up the floodgates. It's time to make an opening. It's time to get closer and closer to the opposing base. We see a few mechanical queens. It's really interesting. Mechanical queens, mechanical sport crawlers. This guy hasn't finished his skin set, but whatever, that's how it goes. MiZEL also going for Thors pretty early into the game. Does he actually know that Spires are in the field? No, so he is just gonna go for casual Thors immediately. This can get countered, of course, if Witness realizes he can just really swarm with those smaller units. It really depends. Thors can go fight against the clusters of mutas, but the mutas can also go for the micro, a way to just ignore the army and go into the common line, calling it a GG there. Anyway, MiZEL now gonna be sending things out. Scans are around, exposing his army though to those creep tumors. And how will Witness respond? He's going for corruptors already. It seems like it might be broodlords later on. No hive as of yet. No, there you go. Infestation pits gonna be looking to come online. Because these corruptors right now not gonna be very useful. The only thing in the air, I believe, is the BC and the Viking. MiZEL has really gone into the ground orientation. And usually a Terran, you can stay with Hellion, Cyclone, and Siege Tank before going into the Thor later on. Because like we said before, the Thor isn't really the fastest unit. It's a hulking PE, I'm not sure. And it is hard to fight directly. But there are so many ways for Witness to actually circumnavigate this fight right now. It seems like he's going to be going with the bulk of the army. I don't think we've seen much Mutalists here. He only has one left, apparently, after that fight. And here comes Witness, bringing everything in. The Hellbats, though, transforming and just easily cooking up those Zerglings. Thor's right now turning around, taking care of the Overseers as well as the Corruptors. But he might want to focus down onto the ground instead. Those Hydras can't back a punch in good numbers. But there you go. They're falling so easily. 2 Thors versus the world. It seems like it's enough to provide some critical damage. And Hydra's not as potent against these units. They can still fight, they can still go for the Star Step on both sides. Usually you can go for the Hydra against the Siege Tank. Sure, you will lose some of them, but if they slither on in, it's going to be an easy takedown there. But we're a little too tanky for this fight. And in this instance, you want to go, you can potentially go rather to the Roach Ravager situation, but no Roach War means that this is what Witness is going to be playing into. Hydras yet again, going to the high ground, easily dying there. And this is really bad here for our Red Zerg. He's not really able to get the tech options that he really needs into this fight. A really big help will be him getting a Hive as well as Vipers to go for those Abducts, and then a Lurker Den at the same time. Lurker then, of course, providing that extra damage against armored, and if you get the yoink on to set up Lurker as well, that is going to be game setted match of anything that gets brought along. But Hydra's walking into the cannon fire is not how you want to play this, Witness. And it seems like MiZEL going to be part of the protection program. Shots keeping on coming as well. Yes, like we said before, this is going to be a hard fight here for the Hydras. The Siege Tanks and to tear them apart. But if the gap close happens, well, the Hydras can blow up those Siege Tanks. It won't be an even trade, though. With this needs to be a little ahead in that economy. And right now, it seems like MiZEL is the one with the heavy bank. 4-5 bases here for our Zerg versus 4-5 for the Terran. So it really is MiZEL in the lead by this point. And Witness, staying on 67 workers, has stopped joining up by the 60 mark earlier on. It seems like it is going to be more on that army focus, but Witness unable to really get much done there. Hive Knight now going to be coming online very soon. +2 onto carapaces for both flyers as well as the ground. And I believe that is +3, no, +2, yes, +2 is coming there. +2 for the attack, as well as the range here for Witness. We also have the Hydra speed as well as the attack range to try and help things out. And now we see the Infestation Pit actually bringing out the Locust instead. So the Swarm Host trying to go for a few hits overall. Nidus Network is already set up as well. Or is it actually into the base? Creep Tumors now bringing spread as well. And yes, all about looking to move around this map. Solo, these 12 swarm hosts are gonna take a while to actually get those eggs up. And Mizzle might have the opportunity to find the kill on to them in the first place. Anyway, we'll see how this is gonna be panning on out. As we see here, the screech of the Nidus Worm coming in the first place. Still though, here comes Witness, bringing the Swarm Hosts up the high ground yet again. There'll be a few free hits here and now from the Thor. Locust now dropping on down. It's an easy cook-up. Honestly, the Hellbats, as well as the Thors, mopping the floor out of those disposable units. And now Mizzle can go for the fight yet again. No, still hesitating. Doesn't want to push in. He knows Witness has a lot of army in the back, but this is gonna be the Zerg now looking to pile on the pressure all around this map. The northeast having a Nidus Swarm. The southwest gonna have one as well. And right now, Witness gonna be looking to find opportunities to blow up those economic lines, but he has to make a decision. Will he fight Mizzle head on here, or will he go for a base race? Will he go for the economic hits? It seems like Witness forgetting to actually gather some minerals here, and what is Witness doing? Gonna be sending those swarm hosts onto the south side. Locals now coming online. Here we go with Witness finally waking up and bringing the fight to Mizzle, but Mizzle catching his opponents, taking a nap, falling asleep at the computer, and those ground-based compositions gonna fall to the might of the Thors. The hammer toils on away here from Mizzle. So easy to get that splash damage on Mizzle, showing the true force that is the mech-based composition. And this is what mech is all about, why it has become meta, and it's really, really strong, especially in not the highest tiers of play, but high enough that your macro is on point. What I've seen was truly the way to deal with the mech-based comp is for Zerg, to play spellcasters, what Serral does, and even in Katowice, Serral actually beating innovation, as is tradition there. But, you know, it really depends on how good you can be as a Zerg player, and sometimes when you're really focused on going for the A move, going for the outswarm, just having enough damage in the bank, you're not gonna be really as focused on spellcasting. Usually it's pros players who can climb the ladder with good spellcasting, like Force Fields, Psionic Storm, and alike. But right now, Witness running everything in yet again. Still though, Broodlord's gonna get spotted. The Thor is gonna be able to get the outrange. The leash range not gonna be enough. And Broodlord's trying to get on the way, but that's too much damage being done. Sure, the damage has been nerfed a little bit. The right the far increasing its actual DPS almost twofold. And Mizzle just controlling this whole eastern side so far. Here comes the Thors yet again. Blows up the poor drone trying to make a hatchery. And this might be game, set, and match. Witness doesn't have any more gas in the back. He can go for a swarm of Zerglings, but it's not really going to help out anytime soon. +3 coming online here and now for both the mech-based composition as well as those flying Zerg units. But by this point in time, Mizzle is marching on, knocking on the doorknob of Witness, making sure that he will be silenced from this testimony. And Mizzle bringing those Hellbats into the fold yet again onto the eastern side. Here comes the Thors marching on forward. Nidus Networks having a few of those swarm hosts, but it won't really do anything if they get blown on up. And GG is called. Witness gonna be throwing in the towel. Mizzle takes that one with a pretty solid mech-based army. Yeah, criticisms there to Mizzle. Those supply depots walls are very dangerous, and I feel like if Witness just played a little different, Mizzle might be on the back foot, having to stay defensive because he invested heavily early on the doors. That means if the mutas got in position onto those mineral lines, that will be a easy way to get those pickoffs because those doors are hulking and also have really, really high collision. So they're very big units. It's very difficult, honestly, to move them around in SimCity scenarios for our Terran with a lot of production on that main base. And that's why you usually see Hellbats, Hellions rather, and Cyclones together. It's a very mobile composition. It is both sides of the coin being basically covered. And Siege Tanks, of course, going to be scary as well with those shock cannons. By the way, it worked out in favor of Mizzle. Decision making, yet again, is something we need to look into. But macro pretty on point as soon as he found his use of the money. Might not want to keep everything queued up though. It's a little dangerous because you're gonna be those minerals and gas that you're not using right now. Well, might need it for something later on. But it is Witness able to outclass Witness, who really decided to stay on a single strat and didn't really go into all facets of it. He could have gone for the Baneling Nest, just apply early pressure. And it seems like with this was happy to play the long game, and I don't think it's the best way to play the Zerg right now. You want to have both sides of the tug of war going in your favor. You want to make sure the fear of the Swarm is against your opponent. But it is what it is, and I'll see you guys in the next SCPH replay.